Well, live morning up here at this hour in Canvas. It's News 360. I am Alfred Okansi.
And I am Portia Gabo. Coming up, the headlines.
News 360 Headlines is brought to you by Deluxy Acrylic Paint, Heaven Insecticide Spray and Coil, and Apa Foods.
Kel Charcoal Toothpaste.
Tonight, majority side in Parliament racing against time to have e-levy passed before Speaker Barbing leaves for medical review. We go live to Parliament in a bit. Still with us to give you the latest from there.
Also tonight, Ghana Refugee Board set next month to relocate refugees at the Budumburum camp as Gomwa East District Assembly gives notice to finally going ahead with its demolition and redevelopment.
Also tonight, ban on motorbikes in Boko having a heavy toll on teachers and virtually grinding business to a halt. We'll have the latest on that.
Coming up in Business News, Communication Ministry admits training of more officers to handle individual data has caused delays in the opening up of centers in the ongoing SIM card registration exercise.
And on international front, this evening, a new military leader of Burkina Faso promises to return to normal constitutional order only when the conditions are met.
We have details of these stories and more, including sports and entertainment news coming up shortly. We're also live on DSTV channel 279. Do stay with us.
We're live on Twitter, on Facebook as well, and let's get connected now. And remember, we're live in Parliament. My colleague Komla Kluche is on the ground. He's in Parliament. He's been interacting and also gauging the move there to get exactly what the situation is, whether the Speaker is in Parliament or has actually left. We earlier picked information that Speaker Alban Sumana for Bagbin has left the Parliament House. We want to confirm that shortly, so stay with us. But the majority in Parliament is racing against time to have the e-levy passed before Speaker Alban Bagbin leaves for medical review. Reading the business statement for next week, Majority Leader Osechi Mensah-Bonsu says the bill could be passed pending a final consultation to be done.
We'll bring you that story later on. But still on the e-levy, its introduction seems to be evoking some fears among young entrepreneurs as they worry about its effects on business growth. Menu Afol explores this issue in this report.
As revealed at the government's town hall meeting on e-levy, online businesses have become a growing trend.
In Ghana, digital platforms have become the main tool in recent times for payment for goods and services, as well as for transfers and remittances locally and in some cases abroad. Data from the Bank of Ghana and other sources have also confirmed the growing trend in e-commerce and other online sales and activities.
But for younger Ghanaian entrepreneurs who are barely managing to earn enough to grow their businesses, the introduction of the e-levy seems to be a big setback to their operations.
It's even difficult convincing someone to buy a product from you, yet more adding taxes to what they are supposed to pay. On a regular day, if you are asking them to add charges to the amount they are supposed to give to you, they even find it difficult because they argue from the fact that they are being charged from sending money to you. You are also being charged from withdrawing the money for your business. So at the end of the day, the money you get is very, very minimal. Now imagine imposing more taxes on the already taxes that they are even complaining to pay on a small business owner, on the youngsters that you are encouraging to be entrepreneurs. It is very, very frustrating.
Owners of these online businesses will supposedly be the biggest losers with the introduction of the e-levy.
Most of our customers are met online and then through social media, which some are as far away as the northern region. So if you should sell a phone and then make a profit of 100 cedis, what do you save? How do you get a shop? Jobs are hard to come by. So if we young entrepreneurs support this e-levy to be passed, how do we cater for our needs? How do we even progress?
To be honest, I'm going to stop online purchases because at first, after buying from online, I have to pay extra charges. But the institution of the e-levy to means I have to pay another extra charge. So I'll just do walk-in or cash on delivery.
Menu Afol reporting for TV3.
Well, it's live here on News 360, and we're going to cross over to Parliament now. We have two eyes there. Now, we have eyes in the Chamber of Parliament, where Parliament is currently sitting. Proceedings are ongoing in Parliament now. And then also my colleague Komla Kluche, who has been interacting, getting some exclusive information outside of Parliament as well. He joins me on Zoom. Komla, good evening to you. Now, I know that Parliament is in session. What's happening on the floor now?
Well, as I speak with you now, the majority leader is pleading with the House to take an agenda. So to speak, it's the debate on the paper on the e-levy. The minority had raised questions regarding whether the House was prepared for this, because they've been waiting since 10 a.m. till now, and there has been no show. In fact, the Speaker had come in, waited for so long, and left at about 5:30, and he told journalists early on that you can see that I have waited, but they are not there. So he left back to his office. Just a while ago, I peeped through from where I am, and I had seen that his vehicle was at the other side, or just at the frontage of his office. So as it stands now, there was a heated debate between the majority leader, the minority leader, and the chief whip of the minority regarding whether the House is prepared for this, because obviously there is disagreement on whether they should go ahead, because some members of Parliament, especially those from the minority side, saying that they have waited for so long and it's been absolutely nothing coming from the majority side. But they have just introduced an order paper agenda where they will have to take, which contains the debate on the E-levy, which is the second reading of it. So after that, then a decision, if you like, will be had. I am getting some indication that the minority is not agreeing to this, and then it does appear that the first deputy speaker, who is in the chair and chairing all this, be taking a decision, is going to lead the House to take a decision on whether they would want to take this or otherwise.
I see. So, Komla, you established that indeed the Speaker's vehicle, official vehicle, is within the premises of Parliament. But then the first deputy speaker is the one who is presiding over the business of the House. So, where is the speaker now?
As I speak, I mean, as of the last time I checked, his vehicle was at the garage in front of his office where he normally parks. Before we went on, I checked just about some 10 minutes ago before we went on, and that was where his vehicle was parked. But then he is not in the chamber. He came and waited, and then he had left back to his office. So we are not too sure whether the speaker is in his private office, but presumably once his vehicle is there, it appears that the speaker is in his private office, probably monitoring the proceedings from now. But from the pictures, I'm outside.
I'm just seeing right now, we have a live feed. What you're seeing now is a live feed from Parliament. This is what's going on the floor of Parliament. It appears that the House has adjourned because members of Parliament are leaving the chamber now, correct?
Well, I am outside, so okay. So there's some confirmation. There's some confirmation that sitting has been adjourned till Tuesday. So it means that the E-levy is not going to happen. It's clearly not going to happen tonight. The House has adjourned. That's the breaking news story. Even though they had waited and waited, it does appear that the consultation, if you like, that the majority leader said they were doing, they've not been able to reach that consensus on it, especially from the minority side and also the other interest groups there as well. So it's not going to happen. That is the breaking news. They have adjourned. It's not going to happen. They will not take the E-levy for today, at least until Tuesday when the House has been adjourned. That is what it is.
Fantastic, and that's what we just showed our viewers. So that is the confirmation, Kamala, of what you've been talking about. What our viewers saw few seconds ago with members of parliament leaving the chamber. That's what you see there, right there. Yes, indeed, the House has adjourned. These are live videos from Parliament. This is what's happening on the floor of Parliament now. The members of Parliament are leaving the floor, and the sitting has been adjourned, as Kamala indicated. So, Kamala, what this means is that if indeed the Speaker leaves for his medical review, as earlier indicated, it means the first Deputy Speaker will preside over the business of the House next week. And it implies that the majority would have their numbers reduced as well.
Of course, I mean, presumably so, and that is what the majority has been avoiding. It appears raising against time, they have not been able to get it right before the Speaker jets off to the UAE. I understand he was actually scheduled to leave tonight for Dubai, but because of this has been delayed a little bit, it doesn't appear that it would happen. So basically, the first Deputy Speaker is the one who is going to have to wait and chair the proceedings until the Speaker is back. I get the indication that the Speaker will be there or will be away for some 2 weeks.
I see. So what this means is that until the Speaker comes, the e-levy is not going to be tabled for the second reading. They want to wait till he comes after 2 weeks.
Situations are quite fluid. We do not know what the next step is going to be. Mind you, they say that they are going to have some consultations, and maybe they might use this weekend and then the rest of the period to do some consultations and see where they'll be able to patch it up. Mind you, it's also been reduced to 1.5 from that meeting that they had with the minority early on in the day. So maybe they're going to have to go back to the people who they've been consulting with to tell them probably the justification for the 1.5 instead of the 1.75 that they have been saying all this while.
Fantastic. Kamala, you talk about that consultation with the finance minister earlier with the minority. Did they agree to this 1.5% reduction that the finance minister sent to them, reducing it from 1.75 to 1.5 earlier during that meeting with the finance minister and the minority?
They were averse to it, Alfred. They were averse to it, and they still stand by that position that it's a total scrap of the e-levy they are calling for.
Kamala, I thank you. Thank you so much. That's Kamala Kluche, parliamentary correspondent, giving us updates of what's happening in Parliament. What you just saw are live videos from the floor of Parliament. Parliament has adjourned without the second reading of the electronic transactions bill. What this means is, Osechi Mensah who put this forward, you had Jose also first Deputy Speaker presiding over the business of the House. The Speaker's vehicle is there. He is expected to leave for medical review later this weekend, and we'll see how next week will look like if this bill is introduced with the first Deputy Speaker in the seat, which reduces the majority's numbers to 137, minority 137, with the independent candidate, of course. Portia.
Away from Parliament, let's go to the Western region, where 8 persons who died in the Apiti blast are yet to be identified. Ibrahim Abubakar has been engaging the head of the Security Council for the Prestia Huni Valley on steps taken to identify families of the deceased.
9 out of the 17 persons who died in a blast at Apieti have been identified. The remaining 8 are suspected to be onlookers and passengers in a vehicle that was caught up in the explosion. The head of Security Council for Prestia Huni Valley, Dr. Isaac Dasmani, says efforts are being made to trace families of the unidentified deceased. We need to, I mean, whether we have their pictures, we need to put their pictures in Daily Graphic or whatever, in news. For people, probably they were traveling and they met the incident. So I'm sure at the end of the day, we'll make sure that all the victims are identified. We had a meeting and they said we should wait from Monday going. Then we'll start because they need coroner report and all of that. Meanwhile, the assembly member for Apieti says all suspected missing persons have been found. do we still have claims of missing persons?
No, for now. The first, after Thursday, that was Friday, we heard from the some community members that complaining, my mother, I can't find him, my sister, my daughter, whatever. But that was at the time when we realized that some people who had run for their lives to be in the bushes hadn't returned. So from Friday, when people started joining them at the parish hall and the others, these things have totally vanished. And we've not yet received any news of reporting that missing people, whatever. No. For now, we could say that all other people that we know, either injured, dead, or quite strong, or fully strong.
Ibrahim Abubakar, TV3 News, Apieti, Western Region.
Meanwhile, government has begun arrangements to reimburse money spent by victims of the Apieti explosion who are receiving treatment at health facilities in the region. And the reimbursement follows a promise by the Vice President, Dr. Bawumia, when he visited the victims and assured them that the government will bear the cost of their medical expenses. At a media briefing, the Western Health Director, Dr. Yao Ofori-Yeboah, said some 346 victims will benefit.
In the early stages of the emergency, our focus was rightly on ensuring that blood and other critical life-saving items were mobilized for the injured in the hospitals. We are now collating expenditures from the various health facilities for immediate reimbursement. And this is the template that we are using to collect all the expenditures from all the facilities in the Western region which are providing care for the accident victims. Accident victims are receiving free treatment. Unfortunately, we ran out of some essential items such as orthopedic plates and some critical drugs. Relatives of 2 out of the 348 cases who have attended our facilities procured these items from private sources during the emergency. The Regional Health Directorate, under my leadership, has already directed the facilities in charges to refund the expenditure incurred to the families and rather include them in the bills being collated for reimbursement.
Away from Apieti, refugees at the Bujumbura camp in the Gomoa East District of the Central Region will be relocated next month. This is to make way for subsequent demolition and redevelopment of the land. Programs coordinator of the Ghana Refugee Board, Tete Paddy, says tents set up to accommodate the evacuees in the Western region are almost ready.
The Bujumbura camp, which has been in existence for 32 years, has been earmarked for demolition and subsequent redevelopment. However, attempts to evict occupants of the land to pave way for full takeover by the custodians of the land was met with stiff resistance, causing planners of the demolition to coil back. Currently, there are more than 2,000 people living at the camp, but the Ghana Refugee Board says only 450 have refugee status. Programs coordinator of the Ghana Refugee Board, Tete Paddy, tells TV3 the demolition is bound to happen.
What we're doing is engaging the owners of the land, engaging all stakeholders in order that we'll be able to relocate the refugees, those who are still refugees from Bujumbura, before any such demolition takes place. We're still in the process of arranging for them to, those who would like to be relocated, to be moved to our camp in the Western region. Many of the shelters are ready. So within a few days or within a few weeks, we should be able to complete the relocation.
Back at the camp, the refugees are holding a crunch meeting.
So if you come from your car, if you come from whatsoever you live, don't come on the camp and tell people to bring break down the camp tomorrow. You worry those that are here.
The pending demolition and means to acquire the non-citizen Ghana card for their SIM cards registration were topical on the agenda. Frustration and anger have grown over the last 3 months against what the refugees have described as harsh treatment meted out to them by Ghana's authorities. Sarah Sivell is one of several women traumatized by the notice to demolish the camp.
I would say I've regretted. They should have told us the plain truth. You can tell me to stay in your country, then you limit me. You gave certain conditions that I can't work, I can't sell. How do I survive with all working? Even God Almighty has given us 3 basic needs in life: food, shelter, and clothing. And I have to work to be able to feed myself. And you say I shouldn't work. How do I eat?
Chairman of the Liberia Refugees, Dennis Graham, appeals to the Liberia government to consider the provision of accommodation in Monrovia for members who want to go back home.
Now we are also saying you don't just take somebody to carry them. There should be accommodation for those who are taking them. There are children who came, some were born here, their parents died here. They have nowhere to go. They know nowhere like whom, Liberia. So you can't just take them, just dash them in the street of Monrovia. You have to do something that will make them to feel that, yes, we are back home.
But not every one of his compatriots are warming up to this idea.
For now, I cannot go back home for some security reasons. Now I listen to people are saying that Prince Johnson, this other person who committed atrocity, they are all living in Liberia. And I think it's not fair. And how can people who have committed atrocity are walking the street of Monrovia with impunity? And you are telling me somebody who has killed somebody's father and mother, they are moving the street of Monrovia, and you are telling me Liberia is safe? I think they have to rethink what they are saying.
In more news tonight, the governing New Patriotic Party will this year elect new executives at all levels to steer affairs of the party. General Secretary of the party, John Buedu, during an interaction with the media, noted that national executive polls has been set to July 14 to July 16. Lord Iduasari has more in this report.
According to John Buedu, the National Council of the New Patriotic Party met on Thursday, January 27, to set the dates for the elections. The NPP General Secretary spelled out the new cost of nomination forms for party members who will be aspiring for national executive roles.
Nomination fees for national chairman position 20,000, for vice chairperson's positions 15,000, for general secretary position 10,000, all other positions 8,000. Apart from the special wings, that is for the treasurer, for the organizer, 8,000. For special wings, that's the Nasara women and youth, 6,000 cedis.
He commended aspirants who put their interests behind and projected that of the parties during the National Delegates Conference last year. He, however, urged aggrieved aspirants to use the right channels of the party to address complaints.
The Code of Conduct, which is only supplementary to the provisions of the NPP Constitution, expressly provides clear procedure for handling alleged breaches and non-enforcement of its contents, as the case may be. We wish to encourage our members who feel aggrieved in one way or the other regarding the enforcement of the Code of Conduct, particularly as it relates to presidential primaries, to take advantage of the express provision in the code and petition the National Complaints Committee for the necessary redress, rather than holding press conferences and accusing the parties of selectivity.
The venue for the National Delegates Conference will be in Accra this year.
Of teachers, artisans and others who depend on motorbikes for their daily activities in Boko municipality and its environs are appealing to the Regional Security Council to review the ban on motorbikes and riding on motorbikes in the area. They argue the ban has completely taken them out of business and it's affecting productivity of residents.
seen the implementation of the law banning, man riding and picking a colleague man, at least our wives would have been able to take our wards to school and back. Look at the economic hardship since last month, and we have to again look for another means of transporting our kids to the school.
The Upper East Regional Coordinating Council last Sunday placed a ban on the riding of motorbikes within the Boku municipality. That same day, there was sporadic shooting within the municipality, leading to the death of a number of persons, including a policewoman who was visiting a colleague. The ban has brought a heavy toll on the people residing within the municipality, as motorbikes are major means of transport for residents.
If it will save the situation, fine, why not? But I can recall in the year 2009, this was implemented. It lasted almost 5 years. Still, this issue has come again. It looks as if the authorities are still using the old method in trying to bring Boku back onto its feet, and it's not working. So we are just pleading with them to revisit the situation, look at new methods, new approach to find lasting solution to this particular problem.
Since the directive, most businesses and other activities have ceased to function in the municipality. The streets have remained virtually deserted as teachers, nurses, women and other professionals barely go to work.
And if you look at what is going on right now, it's like a lot of people are not coming to work, the system is going down, no business to do, you understand, and it's really stressing us.
They are worried the ban on motorbike riding is bringing education, healthcare and many other economic activities to a standstill.
Let's go to the OT region, and 4 of the critically injured in the Boeman Senior High student accidents are being transferred to the Ho Teaching and Tema General Hospitals for attention. 3 students of the senior high school at Jasikan were involved in an accident, as well as a driver and another passenger. They were rushed to the Hohoi Government Hospital Friday morning following a road crash on the Jasikan-Hohoi road. All of the critically injured in the Women Senior High student accident case have been transferred to the Ho Teaching and the Tema General Hospital for attention. And 3 students of the school were involved in an accident. A driver and another passenger were rushed to the Hohoi Government Hospital Friday morning following a road crash on the Jasikan-Hohoi road.
Pretty worrying there. We'll give you updates on this particular accident in our subsequent bulletins as we go on. But the Melcom Group of companies has organized a nationwide blood donation exercise across the country to support the Ghana Blood Transfusion Service. The exercise is an annual event designed by Melcom Care Foundation to support health delivery and the systems in the country.
The Melcom Care Foundation organized the nationwide exercise to obtain more blood for hospitals across the country. The Melcom Group Communication Director, Godwin Abenogo, said his outfit is interested in the general well-being of Ghanaians, hence the support.
The theme for this year's blood donation is a link to assist us celebrate the giving life of the late Melcom Group chairman, Mr. Bagwan Ramchandra Chandani, who left us last year. So all the CSI we are doing in 2022 are dedicated to his memory. That we got this many years ago, a few decades ago, and every year we do it. It is sustainable. This is Melcom's way of giving back to society. We're investing in education, we're investing in support for public institutions, private institutions, and so on and so forth. The hospitals, for example, have benefited tremendously from Melcom Care Foundation inputs. And so this is a sustainable exercise. We planned it and we're sustaining it, and every year we're going to do it.
Stephen Kweku Danso, the Principal Blood Program Officer for the Southern Sector of the National Blood Bank, commended Melcom Care Foundation for the continued support to the National Blood Bank.
Melcom has been one of our key partners for over the years. Annually, we've been having a national blood donation exercise, as you can see, and it yields a lot, about thousands units of blood are donated by voluntary donors to save lives.
Some of the donors said they were excited to contribute to healthcare delivery in Ghana. The officers further appealed to Ghanaians to participate actively in this year's blood donation exercise for victims of the Apieche explosions.
Save life, save life, save life.
This is live on News 360. We're live on TV3 Ghana on Facebook, DSTV channel 279, and all across the world on 3news.com.
Well, we have business news coming up shortly with the exciting Della Michelle. She's standing by for business news.
Spray and coil. Camel, now from Kerex.
Hello, good evening. Let's do some business news now. My name is Della Michelle. The Deputy Minister of Communications Digitalization, Ama Poma Boateng, admitted ongoing training of more officers to handle individual data has caused delays in the opening up more centers in current SIM card registration exercise. The minister entreated Ghanaians to bear with government as it gets the situation under control.
Stakeholders, including the NCA, the Ministry of Communications and the telecom players, agreed to open more registration centers to reduce the long queues. Deputy Minister of Communications Ama Poma said the process has not been abandoned as efforts are still underway to reduce the long queues.
One of the reasons for the long queues is that the telcos need to have trained those who are going to collect the information. So it's not any ordinary person that they are letting them go out there to do their SIM registration. So those are one of the reasons why there are some delays, because people need to train, people need to be accredited to handle those information. The long queues, I think this week it's being managed. The telcos and other partners like the post offices and even the assembly members or honorable members are willing to provide the space, and the telcos are willing to give out the accredited people to collect the information. So all of us are working together to make sure that the proper things are done with the SIM registration.
According to the minister, the government digitalization agenda is being realized.
Executive Chairman at AB David Law, David Ofosu-Dorte, says the absence of harmonized policies within Africa's air travel space is a threat to the success of the Africa Continental Free Trade Area. He contends that for SMEs, traveling from one African country to another through Europe will be costly.
Intra-Africa exports were 16.6% of total exports in 2017, compared with 68% in Europe and 59% in Asia. By removing trade barriers and allowing the free movement of goods, services and people across the continent, it is estimated that the Africa Continental Free Trade Area could help increase combined consumer and business spending on the continent to $6.7 trillion by 2030. In March 2018, 3 separate agreements were signed: the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement, the Kigali Declaration, and the Protocol on Free Movement of Persons. According to trade expert David Ofosu-Dorte, the lack of a harmonized airspace could prove detrimental to the fortunes of the free trade area.
A simple thing like a single air transport market increases our ability to travel across the continent, and goods moves with people. So the ability to travel is a very significant part, whether the routes of origin exist or not. And that, this CFTA is only happening because people are already trading before our leaders have decided that let us recognize what our citizens are already doing and bring it to a formal end. So the removal of non-tariff barriers will actually explode in terms of our ability to trade among each other. If I can buy, let's say, clothes or the shirt you are wearing, I can buy it from Nairobi, or if I can buy it from Ghana if I live in Cote d'Ivoire, why do I want to buy it from Europe?
He wants specific measures put in place to support SMEs to trade on the free trade area.
Take very mundane things for SMEs. If, for example, somebody is packaging kelewele, and let's assume that Nigerians travel to Ghana and like kelewele or shito, and you wanted to package shito, it is more likely that an African sitting in one part of the continent who may like spicy food is more likely to buy shito more than, let's say, a European who may not like spicy food, for that matter. So if you have a situation where you make it easier for somebody to export shito, then the containers of shito can be manufactured. So you are indirectly increasing the manufacturing base.
The agreement aims to bring together all 55 member states of the African Union, covering a market of more than 1.2 billion people.
And that's all the business news we have for you this evening. There's more business news available on 3news.com. Yao Ofosula be standing by with the latest in the world of sports. Stay tuned.
UMB was
of mid-year promo. Simply buy the special Keys of promo pack. Open, scratch, and test the unique code 21393 and win amazing prizes such as Kente, Westcloth, airtime, and cash from 100 Ghana cedis to 10,000 Ghana cedis for the winners who collect all 4 Edinkra symbols in the promo. Texts are absolutely free on all networks. This advert is FDA approved.
Glovo is the app that brings you anything you want. Like a good burger and ending the day in a big way. Or what you need from the supermarket right away. Even some diapers and escape any wahala. Download the app, order a Glovo and we'll deliver.
Welcome. You're currently on DSTV Compact. Ready to step up?
Let's do it.
Congratulations! DSTV has stepped you up to DSTV Premium. Enjoy all your favorite channels like a boss.
Step up to the next level on us. Upgrade your current DSTV package and we'll step you up to the next highest package at no extra cost.
The Huawei Nova 9 is available now in Ghana at 3,099 Ghana cedis. Hurry!
Shady Roma to me.
Tonton master, ebe ye juma na mo. Kwese o madahati. Roma insecticide spray ada Roma. Etafre, entatia, mekeche ha. No way. Mekuno. Tonton ba ko kran fan. Eno so a empusi. Roma insecticide spray and mosquito coil. Emma wo there we Roma,
Roma and Tonton Master.
So what do they do now? Oh, now I'm the official intermediary between public transport users and their chauffeur. I determine the financial obligations of my clients by knowing their destination consultative engagement. Additionally, I'm the manager of the daily financial skills of our transport enterprise. Oh, you didn't try me, say if you don't tell me that.
Shine your hustle every day with the goodness of Fan Yogo. So cool, so good. This advertisement is FDA approved.
Sports segment is brought to you by
Calcate Toothpaste, Consolidated Bank Ghana, CBG.
Hi, good evening. Let's do sports news now here on News 360. My name is Yao Ofusula. Now, the last 8 teams at the Africa Cup of Nations will face each other to fight for a place in the semi-final. In a tournament that has seen shocks and controversial VAR decisions, all teams will take off the favorite tag and play with the hope of qualifying to the next stage, devoid of the opponents they will face. Now, here's a preview of the quarterfinal.
8 teams will take to the field on Saturday and Sunday to battle it out for a place in the semi-finals of the Africa Cup of Nations in Cameroon. The top liner of the quarterfinals is the clash of the 2 North African teams, Egypt and Morocco. The Atlas Lions will be hoping to make it to the semi-finals for the first time since 2004 when they progressed to the finals. Egypt, on the other hand, haven't been convincing in their run to the quarterfinals, but one man who has been carrying them is Mohamed Salah, and his effort will be key if they can progress or otherwise.
Mo Salah does it! He fires them in and sends them through to the quarterfinals.
The story of the Gambia has mirrored this one, but they have gone a tad ahead. Gambia are debutants and already in the quarterfinals. They beat Mauritania, Tunisia, drew with Mali in the group stages, and went on to beat Guinea in the round of 16. The man who has orchestrated this run is manager Tom Sanford, and he chronicles the genesis of this incredible run.
When I came, I really said my target is to qualify Gambia for AFCON, and people didn't believe me, but I had screened the possible players, young talents, players playing everywhere in the world, and step by step we managed to assemble a team, not always the best players, but the best team, players who understood the tactics, who were willing to fight for the country, because for me, playing for your national team is the biggest honor a player can achieve.
Playing the host at this stage is no mean feat, and many pundits have called it the end of the road for the Scorpions. Cameroon have been the highest scoring side at this tournament. Vincent Abubakar has been in top form and scoring freely. Sanford knows the clash with the 5-time winners will not be easy.
They play at home. At home is always an advantage. If you see the stadiums, even for normal games, there's a lot of crowd. I think it could be the most difficult game of the tournament for sure for us. I think we can be very competitive, but for sure Cameroon is the favorite, and that's also normal.
After edging out Cape Verde in the game that was dominated by red cards, Senegal will play Equatorial Guinea, who shocked Mali in the round of 16. It will be yet another opportunity for Senegal to make it successive AFCON semis. Burkina Faso will also play the Carthage Eagles of Tunisia in a game of equals. There's more to look out for in the semi-finals, and obviously the excitement will continue across the African continent. Each of the teams will take to the field, making their people and flag proud with their qualification.
Let's head on now to the Ghana Premier League, where Kumasi Asante Kotoko preserved their lead at the top of the Ghana Premier League this afternoon by beating Accra Great Olympics at the Barbara Stadium to widen the gap to 9 points. The Porcupine Warriors also stretched their unbeaten run to 8 matches with a vital 2-0 victory to become the Wonder Club in the league for the first time since 2017. Dr. Prosper Nateogum, who is coach of Asante Kotoko, maintained the same starting lineup that beat Mediama SC by 1-0 last week at the same venue.
They've all had a taste of goal scoring. A 2 guys brought down, and the referee signals for a penalty. Referee blows the whistle, and it's easily the first goal of the afternoon going to the Porcupine Warriors. Getting across, chips it through. Lamte can't deliver with the left. Oh, an unfortunate goal there. He was in the thick of affairs during the build-up, and at the end of it all.
Well, that's Accra Great Olympics losing to Kumasi Asante Kotoko, but Ghana Black Stars and Dillian Pro striker Emmanuel Boateng through the Emmanuel Boateng Foundation has gone to the aid of 25 needy patients at the Eastern Regional Central Hospital in Koforidua. An amount of 47,000 Ghana cedis was donated to take care of patients who are unable to pay their bills to go home.
It's made up of patients, most of whom are on detention
as a result of not being able to pay for their consumable and medicines administered to them and patients who are on admission but are finding it difficult to buy medication. Boateng, accompanied by his father, Augustine Ofori Boateng, a former player of Aquatex FC, his brother and manager, Bright Boateng, as well as members of the foundation, paid a surprise visit to the facility to interact with the patients while handing over to each patient the amount due them to free them and solve their medical problems. The move, according to him, is his way of giving back to society.
It was a great project, and I feel like we can do this each and every year. So this year we decided, my team decided to do this year, and we chose Koforidua to also come and help the needy, because I think everyone needs a helping hand. So we also chose Koforidua to come here and help the needy and also give back to the society.
The medical director of the Eastern Regional Hospital, Dr. Ako Akoto Ampao, on behalf of the patients on admission at the facility and management, expressed their profound gratitude to Boateng and the foundation for their thoughtfulness to alleviate the plight of the patients.
All right, so let's do the fixtures for tomorrow's games at the Africa Cup of Nations, where Gambia will take on Cameroon. That game's at the Japoma Stadium in Douala. And then Tunisia will also face Burkina Faso at the Romdi Aja Stadium in Garoua. So those are the two games that will be played, one at 4 p.m. and the other at 7 p.m. My name is Yao Ofusulabi, and that's all the sports news this evening here on News 360.
Tell them I'm not in, eh? Tell them.
When you evade taxes, you put yourself at risk of prosecution. Do the right thing. Pay your duties and taxes online, through the bank, or from your phone on time. And let's build a great nation.
In there. Abortion akwana aye fodo the boy yen hu ban fi malaria hu abra yenyinse mozikan enya hu da fa ye fumpe kwaya resabia wo hwem besi fa she said net ase anufa biara na anufa brenu munyinara moto de basa sezi bampa ahuzin wom moto danan edra wa friends of a doxin pyrimethamine another SP oye mabesi awa fa yefun na abufra wo yefun munyinara the minti fa wo SP mesma adachefo na nurse ko beshow no ma wa bon hu ban efi malaria ho na COVID-19 abammo ho bra no didu pepepe COVID-19 ye yerba mpo as malaria so to kumita se ebo to malaria sa ojina emi na ewodo.
This be Madame Rosa. I did for you. She be diva of all hairstylists. She knows say I did here.
Hello.
Hey, no problem. This one, it be cool chop crack. After all, I be Royal King Cracker, made with real milk butter and the goodness of wheat to keep you going. To all you busy bees, I did for you.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Water gives life. Water is life. Enjoy the pure, refreshing taste of Awake purified drinking water, which comes in a uniquely designed bottle with a lemon green tap. Water is your perfect way to stay hydrated. And remember, for every bottle you buy, an amount will be donated to the National Cardiothoracic Center, Ghana. Awake purified drinking water, one for life.
For bulk purchase, contact 0262 351 251.
This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the FDA.
Entertainment news segment is brought to you by Vodafone, Awake Purified Drinking Water. I'm Anita Okuyakufu, and in this segment tonight, the 13th edition of Talented Kids is expected to be launched this Sunday, January 30. 16 versatile and amazing talents have been shortlisted to kickstart the 2022 show. Here is a flashback of the intensive audition process.
I know that's not going to be easy, but we know who we're dealing with, so...
Well, I'm not a harsh judge. I'm just looking for somebody who will wow me.
It's so far been an exciting journey on season 13 of Kids reality show Talented Kids. The search for the next king of the kids began in Kumasi. Young talent seized every moment to prove themselves and subsequently made it to the final list.
Ene wona afe waji bebia Mumoni ke wo eno for go diga Mumani party go wom afe odasema ba.
If you don't shout and jump, I'll take my tickets back. Oh, we are going to Accra.
From Kumasi, the audition train made a second stop in Takrady.
To say you feel my love.
Now, away from that, award-winning Ghanaian rapper Sarkodie has premiered the visuals of his Non-Living Thing hit song, which features Nigerian singer Ox Alade. Non-Living Thing is one of the tracks on the No Pressure album released by the rapper months ago.
Beginning, I thought I was tripping. But I mean, him said the time is ticking. And I could see that something was missing. Me my liberty, I never kept you in the kitchen. Cause superwoman and I believe in the vision. What else? Can't bring me home, but I was wishing. See me because when I talk, you know the listen. Many bema, but you took over position. Say of a large pain, I'm so with Jamie the block. We money now be see then a boy in your fraud. About the taco crime, me push it drop. Sika legitimate and as a blood. Now me feel say we go right until the end.
That's it for entertainment. Up next is international news. I'm Anita Okuyakufu.
Thank you, Anita. Coming up, some international news. We first begin from Burkina Faso.
The new military leader of Burkina Faso promised a return to the normal constitutional order when the conditions are right. Lieutenant Colonel Paul Henry Damiba led a mutiny that ousted President Roch Kabore on Monday. He blamed the president for failing to contain violence by Islamist militants. He made his first national speech since taking power on the eve of an emergency summit of West African leaders called in response to the coup. On Friday, the 15-member regional bloc, ECOWAS, suspended Burkina Faso because of the military takeover. President Vladimir Putin has told his French counterpart that the West has ignored Russia's security concerns amid fears Russia could invade Ukraine. The U.S. rejected a key Moscow demand that NATO rule out Ukraine joining the defense alliance, but insisted it was offering Russia a diplomatic path. President Biden says Russia could invade next month. German intelligence says Russia is prepared to attack, but has not yet decided to do so.
Well, let's go on to 3news.com. These are the stories you find on 3news.com. Make some time. Dr. KK Sapong, appointed UPSA Chancellor, is there. You get the details as well. And the Finance Minister's meeting with the minority that also led to the deadlock, inconclusive with that 1.5% reduction still. Let's nip coups in the butt. Akufo-Addo charges ECOWAS leaders during that virtual meeting earlier today. Bagbin, we understand Speaker Bagbin has been waiting for MPs since 9:30 a.m. And a PT explosion is also there. And Mahama reports Akufo-Addo to UK's Commonwealth parliamentarians. And you get the details of why he's done that. 3 Bueman senior high school students involved in an accident. There are lots of stories on 3news.com. You see them from business to sports to entertainment and everything in between. So make some time and visit 3news.com. Thank you for staying with us here on News 360. On behalf of the rest of the team, as always, we appreciate your time. I am Alfred Okansi.
And I am Portia Gabo. Have a lovely weekend.